Well, this is a different topic. We talk to you about really serious topics all the time, of course, having to do with heart health and breast health and micro robotic surgery, all those amazing things that you're able to do at Indiana Regional Medical Center. Today, we're going to talk about maybe expanding and looking at the future doctors
Right.
and PAs and the various other fields in the medical field. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. So this is going to be happening, huh?
Yeah, it's exciting. I did this before I was here at my other health system where I was. We offered summer programs for high school and college students who are interested in the medical field.
Hmm.
And so we're going to start offering that this summer as well.
That's amazing. Now, how many students are you looking at?
There's two programs. The first one's going to be a 2-week high school program, Monday through Friday,
Hmm.
10 days, so 10 students.
Okay.
And each student spends one day with a different specialist. So they get exposure to 10 different specialties in medicine from all the local high schools. I've sent out emails to all the local principals and some of the guidance counselors and communicating with them now about it.
Hmm.
But it'll start on, I believe it's June 7th, that first Monday after Indiana high schools are done on that Friday the 4th, I believe it is. And then we're going
Okay.
to start on the 7th, that Monday, Monday through Friday for 2 weeks.
Wow, what a great bit of exposure for those students who might be
Right.
thinking about it, might watch some medical dramas on TV, might even have really studied up on it, but now this is the real thing.
Right. So it's 2 weeks. There's no fees involved in it, and there's no stipend or anything. It's just a 2-week, shadowing experience with 10 different doctors
Hmm.
for high school students who are thinking about high or medical school. When my kids were in high school, I asked them what they wanted to do, and they said they wanted to be a doctor, and I said why, and they couldn't really answer me.
Yeah, yeah.
So because they didn't really have good exposure to what physicians actually do.
Hmm.
So I put this program together back then for high school students, and it was an overwhelming success. We were overrun with applications. There's amazing students out there with, we can only offer 10 spots, which is the hardest part is sorting through the applications when we get them.
I would guess. I
So,
would guess because there's going to be some very, very qualified young men and young women who can still obviously pursue a medical degree, but this is
right.
going to be what a great foot in the door. Now, what about the college students?
Well, the one other thing for the high school, in order to apply for that, they should talk to their high school counselor, their guidance
Okay,
counselor. We're
right.
going to want an application which says a paragraph on why they want to go into medicine. We'll want their transcripts and a letter of recommendation from a teacher.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
so,
And are we talking seniors or others as well?
preferably seniors since we have limited spots, but we will take highly motivated juniors as well.
Uh-huh.
That's
Okay.
rising seniors, so they're going to be senior next year, junior next year.
Okay. I
So
understand. I understand. So that's the high school
it's the high
element.
school program.
All right. Tell me about the college program.
Well, when that ends, we're going to start an 8-week paid internship for college students who are in pre-med programs.
Hmm.
We want to have them from this area. So the main requirement is they can go to any 4-year college throughout the country, but they have to be from Indiana County or the surrounding counties, basically the feeder counties for IRMC.
Hmm.
Again, my daughter wants to go to medical school, and when I went on these college interviews with her and we went to these pre-med things, they now have a requirement that you have to have 300 clinical hours to apply for medical school.
Uh-huh.
And the advisors were all saying that they all get their research and they all have good grades, but they have a hard time getting these clinical hours
Hmm.
because med schools don't count volunteering anymore, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it's because with volunteering, you're transporting patients, you're doing great work, and you still need volunteer hours too. So, they've made the
Hmm.
criteria even worse, but you need 300, hours of actually shadowing or doing some type of thing in the medical field itself,
Yeah.
clinical. So, when I asked them, I said, what about, hometown ones if we did this at community hospitals and all? And they said, well, we think that would probably even be better. The medical schools would like that better because they consider that, quote, real medicine,
Yeah.
because the majority of people go to medical schools don't stay at the universities. They go back to community hospitals.
Hmm.
So we put this together, and it's an 8-week program, 1 week each with a different specialist. So it's more of an immersion into that specialist. And so we have 8 students for that,
Hmm.
only 8 spots. 8 weeks each week with a different specialist.
That's terrific.
And so,
And it serves as a recruiting tool too, doesn't it?
right, it shows them what we have here. I mean, as you know, I came to Indiana from elsewhere because of the facility and the amazing care we give at Indiana Regional Medical Center. You know, I was so impressed when I came here to Proctor for robotics that, you know, I came here permanently. And we have a lot of physicians who have joined the staff because it's up and coming. You know, we just had a review where we may even be starting a family practice residency in the future as well. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that yet or not, but we had our review for it and it went very well. I'm involved in that as just as one of the lead for the surgical teaching. We have a lot of PA students and medical students that already come to Indiana Regional Medical Center for their clinical rotations. I teach general surgery at the PA program at Seton Hill. You know, so there's a lot of feeding going on for the future of medicine in this area, and it's to get them exposed locally to see what we actually do here, that we're not some, you know, local yokel hospital, that we actually provide state-of-the-art care and can compete with any medical center around.
Absolutely. And you have said that quite often when you've visited and talked about coming to Indiana Regional Medical Center in the very first place, that sort of opened your eyes.
Right. You know, I didn't know anything about IRMC before coming up here to Proctor, and you know, I had a completely different opinion before I came here. When I came here and saw, you know, the $10 million renovation that they did to the operating rooms and intensive care and the ER and everything. I mean, it's just amazing, the facilities. Yeah. You know, and they're very state of the art. And so, when medical students or pre-med students have to do this, there was nothing locally available, so they have to go away for the summer. So it's also an opportunity for students to come home for the summer, but not just get a part-time job somewhere. They can do something that will actually help their application for medical school and be able to spend a summer at home at the same time.
One of the interesting things that we have heard in recent weeks is that with the pandemic, more and more people are interested in medical careers. And with everything that you hear about what's going on in the medical field and the dangers, and you see the TV stories of the big New York City hospitals where they are so overrun and people are just distraught. That's not really the case across the industry, is it? People actually want to get into this field.
Right. The applications to medical school were up by over 20% this year because of the pandemic. And so it's gotten even more competitive to get into medical school at this point. And so, you know, that you need something like this on your application to do this. And at the end, you get a real nice certificate, and it says, you know, it's 320 hours, 8 weeks for 40 hours a week. And it even states what specialties they rotated in, signed by me as the director and signed by the chief medical officer of the hospital. Dr. Neff will sign it. So they get a nice formal certificate to take back that verifies the program. And they do get a stipend with it, too.
Yeah.
Very nicely, the medical staff has stepped up to provide half of the funding, and the other half of the funding is coming from the charitable foundation.
Oh, that's terrific. Terrific. And you took away one of my questions. I was going to say, with this college program over the 8 weeks, are they going to get to that 300-hour level, and they're actually going to surpass it?
Yeah, they'll get 320 hours from this, so they'll surpass the 300 hours necessary.
Terrific, absolutely. So did the daughters decide to go?
My daughter is going to go, but she's taking a little bit of time off. She did Division I sports in college, as well as pre-med and research, and did stem cell research and everything else. And she graduated in May and decided that she didn't want to go straight in. So she's fortunate. Like some college graduates can't get jobs. She's fortunate. She got a very nice job working as a healthcare consultant right now.
Okay.
And she's going to go and she's going to take 2 years off. She wants to put some money away. You know, med school's expensive, and so she wants to put some money away.
Dad doesn't mind that either, does he?
No, I don't mind that at all.
Well, it's a terrific sounding program. So the big question is going to be, how do people avail themselves of it? What do they need to do?
Well, if they go to the IRMC website, up in the right-hand corner, there's a drop-down menu. And you go click under careers in there. And in there, it will say summer pre-med internship. And you click on that, it has all the information on how to apply. Ashley McDonald is the administrative assistant for the family practice residency, and she's going to be collecting the applications. So there's a one-page statement on, again, why you want to go into medicine. And we're going to need transcripts as well with that. And all the information for the application and her email to get it back to her and everything is on the website.
You're going to have a panel to review all of this?
Absolutely. When I did it before, it was my idea. I came back, I did it all myself, and I was overwhelmed, trying to figure out who. So we're going to have a panel of physicians that are involved in the program to go through it. And it's tough because we usually get, in the past when I've done this, I've gotten more applications than spots.
Yeah, sure.
And it's very competitive. And, medicine's competitive, medical school is competitive. So we're looking for the top students from the area.
So this is a high school program and a college program.
Right.
Are we talking deadlines? I would assume you'd have to have some sort of deadline so you can do all the work.
Yeah, our deadline is going to be about April 15th,
Okay.
because we're just getting this out a little bit behind. I had to get the funding arrangement with being busy with COVID and everything. I was a little behind on getting this all together.
Sure.
I've been thinking about this, but I've had a lot going on in the last two and a half years since I've been at Indiana, and it's been on my mind since before coming here to get this established here, and I'm happy to say we can do it now. So the deadline will be April 15th. So
I would hate to see that clipboard that you look at every morning. Here are my goals for the day.
yeah, I hate to look at it too.
It's more than one page, I would think. Dr. Dan Clark, this sounds like a really, really fascinating program and an exciting one. I know that you seem very excited to get this rolling at Indiana.
Yeah, I love what I do. I still wake up every day. I love being a doctor. It's the only profession in the world where we go in that you actually make a difference in people's lives every single day. And I'm passionate about it. I love it. And I love to see these young people who come in and are passionate about it, and this is what they want to do. And in the past, I've had some students come in and the program has made them say, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing.
Sure.
So before they invest all that time and effort.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. Good point. And radio is also one of those professions. I'm just telling you. Dr. Clark, thanks so much for coming in. We're going to follow this and be very excited when you're able to welcome your first students in, both from the high school and the college level.
Sounds great.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. And Boomer is next. He's got the CBS Sports